Salve Mater misericordiae, Mater Dei et Mater Veniae, Mater Spei et Mater...
At the dawn of the Teresian venture in the missionary field, Malta was perhaps unique as a port of call. Saint Teresa's love for the Church, expressed in her contemplative lifestyle and missionary zeal, will be always linked to the island of Malta, as it unfolded among her sons of the reform she initiated. It was here in Malta that Saint Teresa's Missionary College saw the light of day, and many young promising missionaries received their initial formation in evangelization.
The Holy Reformer cherished a great love for the Church. Her mystical experiences of Christ led her to a closer communion to the Church and made her feel its joys and sadness. She thus became known as Mater Spiritualium, Mother of those who are spiritual, injecting a new impetus to the experience of God and the sense of belonging to the Church. With the help of St. John of the Cross, she could build a spiritual foundation for those interested in the eremitical spirit lived within community. Mary, Mother of Carmel, and Elijah, the prophet, were the exemplars and inspiration in the contemplation of God and His Word, and the burning zeal for His kingdom. In a particular way, Saint Teresa's missionary impulse took a decisive turn after meeting the missionary Alonso de Maldonado at Carmel. And yet, the strongest witness to her missionary zeal was her blessing of gracious initiative to send the first friars to Congo, 5 months before her death in 1582. The dispatched 6 missionaries drowned on the way, and even a second group of missionaries got captured by pirates. The mission of Congo was finally realized, yet to be only suppressed later on, mainly due to ideological factions.
By the late 16th century, the discalced Carmelite order discussed strongly the pros and cons of its involvement in the field of mission work. Yet, the love of the Church and missionary zeal of Saint Teresa's charism prevailed through the intervention of the Church, particularly with the establishment of the Congregation of Saint Elias in 1600.
The year was 1625. The sovereign ruler of the island was the Grand Master of the Knights, Frère Antoine de Paul of the Langue of Provence. Saint John of the Cross had died just 26 years earlier, and Saint Teresa of Jesus had been canonized barely 3 years beforehand. Led by the zeal fostered by the salvation of souls, 3 religious were sent to Malta to establish the first house of the Order of the Discalced Carmelite Fathers, better known in the Maltese islands as I Teresiani. One was Spanish, the other was French, and 2 other Italians, one of which replaced the first mentioned after accomplishing his mission. It was up to Father Paul Simon of Jesus Mary, a seasoned missionary himself in Persia and superior general of the order based in Rome, to envision building a missionary college in Malta. Foresighted and shrewd by temperament, he could not have missed the right assessment and prospects of the island's unique strategy at the center of the Mediterranean Sea. The Venetian fleet, monopolizing as it did the sea routes, was bound to call from time to time on the Maltese islands in order to replenish its ships with provisions and commercial cargo, as well as to load and unload passengers to and from the east. The Father General wasted little time for the establishment of a missionary college in Malta. He wisely obtained the patronage of Pope Urban VIII and King Ferdinand III of Spain. The foundation of Malta was given the go-ahead at the end of 1624 by the General Council of the Order.
Father Joseph Angel of the Mother of God, a Spaniard, was commissioned to examine the potential of realizing this missionary project before taking up his new office as prior of the house at Palermo, Sicily. Father Theodosius of the Holy Spirit, a Frenchman, joined him in the attempt, and both embarked on a Venetian vessel and set sail to Malta, arriving at the end of 1625. On their landing, they were met by none other than their acknowledged friend and benefactor, Bishop Baltasar Cagliaris, Maltese by nationality. The bishop extended his warm hospitality, while the friars dealt with the Grand Master and his council in connection with the proposed foundation.
After the initial setbacks and difficulties that accompany such an undertaking, Father Joseph Angel was happy to report to his superiors in Rome about the positive outcome and set out to Palermo. By this time, the young Father Alexius of St. Angelo, together with the religious brother Joseph of the Immaculate Conception from Rome, arrived on the ship Santa Maria and concluded the necessary negotiations of the community with the Knights of Malta. With such a powerful endorsement, the order could finally settle in the area of Bormla, known today as Bormla, the city of Cospicua. It was here that the first church in the world ever dedicated to Saint Teresa, after being declared saint in 1622, was built by the order. The first Mass was celebrated by Bishop Cagliaris himself in 1626, to the delight of the community and neighborhood. Thus, in the early 1600s, 3 missionary colleges existed within the Discalced Carmel. The earliest, 1615, is best known by its last name, San Pancrazio, in Rome. A second college existed in Louvain, in Belgium, and trained missionaries for underground pastoral work in England, Germany, and Holland. The third missionary college was the one established in Malta. During this period, the Order of St. John was in control of Malta, and one can also venture to say that it was a princedom of the Grand Master. The Hospitallers found Malta very useful, especially when they had to defend themselves against the Turks, approximately 60 years earlier. Malta was considered to be a metropolis at the time when the church was built, a melting pot of cultures and languages, since the Hospitallers faced less military activity and focused more on social and recreational activities. Hence, Malta would have been frequented a lot by many people. Furthermore, a lot of importance was given to the harbors by the Knights, since the Knights, along with the Maltese, were corsairs by occupation, harassing Turkish and Venetian ships alike. As a result, we can understand that such a college was strategically placed even in Malta. The governing body of the Discalced Carmelites kept a close eye on the project, as witnessed by the number of visitors dispatched from Rome to report, among other matters, on the progress of the works. The hour was soon to strike for the official birthday of St. Teresa's Missionary College. Paul Simon of Jesus Mary was returned to his second term in office as Superior General in 1632. The General Council, under his leadership, issued that St. Teresa's College be independent from any province of the order and subject only to Rome. The year was 1633. The Council drew up a long-term policy for the stability and good government of the college in order to reach its educational purpose.
This college was so important that even the Holy See kept a close watch on what was happening. Urban VIII's interest in the college was so keen that he issued the bull, Decet Nos, in 1634, by which he not only confirmed the provisions of the council, but also made them more airtight.
Urban VIII decreed and confirmed that the monastery remain under the immediate authority of the central government of the order in Rome, and that the director or prior of the house be elected at the general chapter, representing the whole body of the same order. No changes were to be incurred to the tenor of these statutes by any ecclesial authority, thus securing the organization of the college for many years to come. For over 150 years, the house served its formation purposes through professors drafted from all the religious provinces of the Reform of St. Teresa. Its tenor of life was duly checked and reinvigorated by pastoral visitations of general superiors and definitors. For the years 1636-1782, a number of 245 students hailing from different nations were recruited and trained for missionary purposes. Together with the courses of theology, particular attention was given to the studies of Oriental languages, such as Arabic, to facilitate communication for the future missionaries.